Harumi was here last year with her trio Capatina, who is, they are a world-renowned string quartet, piano trio, sorry. So between your chamber music life and your teaching life and your solo, how do you balance all that out?
Oh, wow. If you have the answer to that question, I'll pay you millions of dollars. No, it's tricky, but I guess there are two ways of answering that question. One is to say just how difficult it is to manage everything, and then the other way to answer it would be, these are lucky decisions that I have to make. You know, it's like, these are all wonderful things in my life, and I have no complaints that I'm, you know, choosing chamber music or teaching or, you know, all of this stuff. So I do feel very fortunate about that. The way I feel about balancing performing and teaching is basically 50-50. I think teaching is so important to help your own performance and also to share with the younger generation all of this wonderful music and all the wonderful things that I've been taught by my teachers. And performing helps me become a better teacher. So for me, they are hand in hand, and they complement each other, and they're both huge, important aspects of my life. And I feel very lucky now that I'm at Syracuse University. As you mentioned, I'm assistant professor of violin there, but this year I was just appointed as head of the string department and also director of the string chamber music program. So I have this wonderful position where I'm able to really influence the entire string department, including guitar and harp and double bass and, you know, instruments that I don't play myself. But we're all one big string family, and it's wonderful to travel to places like this and get to work with all you wonderful string players. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah. All right. Also, your father was Samuel Rhodes, correct?
He is.
Who was the violist in the Juilliard String Quartet. So you obviously grew up in a very musical family. So can you talk a bit about what that was like? So you were surrounded by music your whole life.
Yep, I was. And my mother is a violinist as well. She tells funny stories about how when she was 9 months pregnant with me, she played the Schubert Octet in Marlborough Music Festival in Vermont, which gets very hot. So she was, you know, this big or whatever. So she always tells a story about how apparently I was moving around a lot during that. So yes, even before I was born, I was surrounded a lot by music. And I feel very fortunate in that way. I have a wonderful relationship with my parents. I've learned so much from them. And these days we play together, which is really nice. For example, my trio is playing a piano quartet program with my father with the Philadelphia Chamber Music Society on October 20th. So it's really wonderful to be, to have that relationship sort of develop now on a professional level, as well as obviously we're family. So it's really special, really, really nice.
All right. So were you? Your dad was a violist and your mother was a violinist. So were you pressured into choosing the violin as an instrument, or?
No, just the opposite, in fact. Just the opposite. My mother begged me to do it, really, to play anything else. She said, can't you play clarinet, or can't you play piano, or, you know, she was happy that I loved music, but at a very young age, you know, I think she was maybe a little worried about being a little bit too close, and worried about our relationship later on, until my father was the one who actually said, she's begging to play the violin, we should let her, and, you know, and so it all worked out. But I think my mother's hesitation was only just, I think she just wanted to make sure that that our relationship was always close, and it still is, so it's really...
Oh, we're glad it worked out.
Yeah.
So nowadays, as a world-class performer, do you have any advice for younger performers, just about performing or practicing, or just life in general as a musician?
Life in general?
Yeah. Just all aspects of being a professional musician.
Eat your vegetables. I think in general, you know, one thing I was actually thinking about the other day, recently, that's been on my mind is, there seems to be a lot of pressure these days in terms of, you know, succeeding in a certain way in the classical music profession, with this whole kind of, you know, you have to be an A+ student and have to be, you have to play faster and louder than everyone else, and you have to win every competition, and once you win this competition, you have to do the next competition, and there's kind of a checklist of things. And that, I guess my advice would be to forge your own path, because if you try to fulfill someone else's path or just check off the things on the checklist, that might not really be you. And in this profession, when you're a musician, it's all about really owning and internalizing and sharing this beautiful art form. And so it's not really the kind of profession that you would go into if you're just checking things off on a list or trying to be #1. Maybe there are other professions where that's more compatible. This one is about the love of the repertoire, the need to share this music with others, the community that you build around music making. And so it's that love and that joy and that need to communicate this art form that should be the driving force in your accomplishments as a musician. And to always remember that it's that development of that voice, of your own musical voice, and your owning it, owning the ownership of this beautiful art form that that is really, really the thing that will shine and take you through for years on and on. So.
Well, speaking of sharing repertoire, I'm going to hand it off to Kevin, who's going to talk a bit about tonight's repertoire. This afternoon's repertoire, sorry.
Okay. Well, it's always nice to get a little bit of background information on a piece of music before you listen to it. So why don't you tell us, or could you tell us, about why you decided to choose this repertoire?
Sure. Debbie and I spoke on the phone a while ago, sort of exploring different things that we could do. And since I was here last year with the trio, I already knew what this group was capable of. I remember just being totally blown away by not just how well everyone played, but the chamber music skills that everyone had, the communication skills that everyone had, the leadership aspect of each person, how the whole group was breathing together and made a group sound. And so when we were talking about repertoire, I actually had something specific in mind, which was really nice. And so the first piece that came to mind was the Bartok that we're doing this afternoon. Bartok Romanian Dances, this is a wonderful arrangement for larger string ensemble. And it really has its own kind of folky, ethnic flair to it, with its own kind of character and sound for each dance. And so I thought, this is the piece for us. We're really gonna have fun on this. And then the rest of the program came quickly together. Each piece, what I love about this program is that each piece has its own sound world to it. So the Mozart, both Mozarts in fact, are really transparent and fun, bubbly, light, very optimistic. And Bartok, as I was saying, has that real folk sound to it. The last piece, the Piazzolla, is a piece that we thought of because we did some of the Piazzolla last year, and I remember everyone loved it. And this year we're going to do a movement of the spring movement from the violin concerto, which has all kinds of different techniques in the string instruments, different kinds of sounds that are really associated with Piazzolla. So I thought that would be fun. So it's basically an exploration of all these different sound worlds. And I knew that this group would be up for it. So I think that was part of the inspiration.
All right, and moving from repertoire, why don't we go to more personal questions maybe?
Uh-oh.
David?
It's lightning round time, rapid fire questions.
Okay, so to top it off, we have a few rapid fire questions.
You're gonna have to explain that to me. What does that mean?
It's like, just answer as quickly as you can. No pressure. But
Don't worry about extended responses. Just
No, no.
one word.
Okay, so what is your favorite superpower?
If you could pick any superpower,
Anything.
what would it be?
Oh my god, I'm not very good at this game. Can I pass and can I go on?
Yeah, sure. Cultural cuisine.
Oh, Japanese.
Japanese, okay. Color.
Brown.
Book.
Oh, do I have to choose? There's too many. I'm not good at this.
Okay.
There are too many.
Movie.
Any James Bond movie.
Okay. TV show.
Anything on Food Network.
Composer.
Oh. Gosh.
Era.
Bach, Mozart, Schumann. Can I say?
Okay, yeah. Season.
Fall.
And last but not least, what is your favorite chamber music organization?
Chamber Music Connection.
I think that wraps up the time we have right now, and we look forward to playing with you.
Thank
So
you so
thanks
much.
everyone for coming early.